Okay, hi, Dan Stein here, president of FAIR, and I'm so excited to be with you today to talk. First time ever, you're going to hear from the horse's mouth. Shari Rendall, state and local director at FAIR, who is the author of this very important study, which you can hold up, The Explosive Growth of Sanctuary Cities. You've all read about it, you've heard about it, seen it on television. This groundbreaking report that came out last week shocked Americans all across the country to demonstrate that these sanctuary cities have not only exploded under President Trump, but it's a coordinated campaign pushing back on the Trump administration's groundbreaking enforcement policies as they work to deconstruct everything the Obama administration has done on immigration enforcement. Now that the law is being enforced, many of these jurisdictions, mostly controlled by Democrats, are passing one resolution after another, demanding no cooperation with ICE. These are federal immigration authorities. No honoring of ICE detainers. That means they're not holding aliens who have been convicted of crimes for being picked up for removal. And it's a very serious problem. So here to talk about the report, its key findings, Shari Rendall, welcome.
Thanks, Dan. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, so you wrote a great report and got a great reaction.
It was a great reaction. What we found was before 2000, there were only 11 sanctuary jurisdictions. And then when President Obama took office in 2009, we had only 40 jurisdictions. Since that time, when he left office, there were 338 jurisdictions. And then when President Trump took over in 2017, 564 jurisdictions since then.
So there's been like a 650% increase in sanctuary jurisdictions since Trump took over?
Yes.
Totally exploded.
It has totally exploded.
And there's a lot of great graphics on the website. You can hold up that one you've got right there.
This shows the explosive growth of the sanctuary jurisdictions, and it is a great one-pager that we can get for you all.
Right. I mean, sanctuary cities are an important part of interior enforcement. Can you explain to our viewers why that is?
Well, these are dangerous policies and practices that essentially provide a safe haven for illegal aliens where they can live or work without fear of apprehension from federal immigration authorities. And they encourage illegal immigration and lawlessness. Everybody probably remembers the Kate Steinle story from San Francisco.
California.
Yes, this is the girl who was walking with her father on the pier and was shot by an illegal alien who had 7 criminal convictions and had been previously deported 5 times.
So, as I said on Fox News the other day, trying to enforce immigration law without having cooperation from the states is like trying to catch butterflies with a big hole in your net, right?
It's absolutely true. The federal government relies on state and local law enforcement to really help them out, to be the eyes and ears in these communities.
So if you go to our website and you download the report, can you find out if your jurisdiction has passed one of these resolutions?
Absolutely. So the sanctuary report is called Sanctuary Jurisdictions Nearly Double Since President Trump Promised to Enforce Our Immigration Laws.
Now Mark wants to know, he's asking, how come they don't get thrown in jail, these officials who appear to be obstructing immigration law enforcement?
Well, that's a great question from Mark. And, you know, we are working to try and ensure that federal officials are not impeded and that there is full cooperation with the federal immigration officials by our state and local governments. In Texas, for example.
A lot of pushback in Texas.
They did actually prohibit and they will punish officials who don't enforce our laws.
So we know there's been a lot of pushback, right? I mean, Lou Barletta won his primary in Pennsylvania. He, of course, was the mayor of Hazleton, partnered with FAIR and our Law Institute early on when he was a mayor.
Absolutely.
Now he's served in Congress for several terms, and now he's gotten the Republican nomination to serve in the United States Senate. Now, sanctuary cities, pushback, that was a big issue in his primary campaign, right?
It was, definitely, and it's great to see that Pennsylvanians recognize that they don't want sanctuary cities. In fact, 75% of Americans don't support sanctuary policy.
It's going to be a big issue in the upcoming 2018 campaign, don't you think?
It absolutely will be.
So there's a lot of pushback in California. And fairs, what are we doing in California to help some of the counties and cities?
So we've been working with them, and our legal arm, Early, has filed an amicus brief on behalf of several cities and counties in that area, including counties like Escondido and Los Alamitos, Dana Point, Yorba Linda, Aliso Viejo, Fountain Valley, many others, and those are just a few of them.
They're located in several counties, not just Orange County.
They are.
And some of those officials were invited to the White House this morning, right?
They were. We had the opportunity to talk to Mayor Sam Abed early this morning. Before he was going to the White House, he actually promised FAIR he would bring a copy of our report to the president's attention.
Mayor Abed is going to take the report. He took the report and directly gave it to the president.
Yes, he did.
If you want to see our interview with Mayor Abed, it's on our website from a trip that our investigations team took out to California last month. It's an excellent interview. And today he took our report and handed it directly to President Trump.
Which was very exciting. He also has hard statistics from his community, Escondido, California, which clearly shows that pushing back against sanctuary policies is what the community wants, and it's effective.
All right, and I just want to clarify from some of your comments, thank you for your nice words about FAIR and Early's work. I do want to tell you that Early is IRLI.org, Immigration Reform Law Institute, IRLI. Check it out. Check out all their work on anti-sanctuary pushback. These are things that are effective all across the country. And Early also has an op-ed in today's LifeSet magazine, which talks about Senator Sessions' work on immigration policy and his basically supporting his new initiatives to detain everybody crossing the border illegally. We see some people who may have been part of the caravan coming across the border in Arizona now.
Yes.
Do you think sanctuary policies lure and encourage people to come illegally?
Absolutely. They act as a magnet for those people coming across the border, and it provides them a safe haven. So it absolutely acts to encourage more illegal immigration. And in fact, that's one of the arguments we've been using to try and convince the governor in Tennessee to sign anti-sanctuary legislation.
Do you know when he's going to sign it or not?
Well, it was presented to him last week. He has 10 business days to either sign it, veto it, or let it become law without his signature. And I can tell you, opposition has geared up. They want to have open borders there, and they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that Governor Haslam vetoes this legislation. And we've been encouraging our activists in Tennessee to get on the phone or email Governor
If you
Haslam.
live in Tennessee, please call the governor and encourage him to sign the anti-sanctuary bill that passed the Assembly, right, last week.
It's passed both the House and Senate down in Tennessee.
Down in Tennessee. Encourage him to sign that. Very important. His vetoing it would be a real setback for the effort of a lot of activists, a lot of Americans who worked very hard to pass this bill in Tennessee. Another thing we're working very hard on the sanctuary front is in Oregon. Oregon has a fabulous activist group, Oregonians for Immigration Reform, led by Cynthia Kendall, and they are working very hard to gather enough signatures for a referendum to put on the ballot in November 2018, something that would overturn Oregon's notorious sanctuary law. And we're working with them too, right?
We absolutely are. Most people don't even realize Oregon had a sanctuary law even before California. It was the first in the country. So this is a huge deal out there, and it's not an easy lift. Cynthia and her group out there needs nearly 90,000 signatures. So efforts out there are underway. Their deadline to qualify is July 6th, so we will know real soon.
Right, Cynthia needs your help to volunteer. Maria, I see you here from Oregon. That's great. Anything you can do to help Cynthia and her group is fabulous. We're going to have some folks out there also going to help out in the next week or two, in addition to some assistance we provided financially to help get some signatures on the ballot as well. It would be a very important thing to have this referendum on the ballot in 2018. Sanctuary cities are going to be a big, big issue in this upcoming campaign. And so overturning sanctuary laws, getting the wall funded, getting these other interior enforcement techniques going, good news. The administration is amping up its worksite enforcement audits. The president's up there on Congress yesterday also exhorting them to pass wall funding and also close loopholes, trying to fix the Wilberforce Trafficking Act and these other things that are encouraging families to come at the behest of smugglers to take advantage of these loopholes. Trump is working on all four. So Trump is really not the issue. The issue is, why don't Republicans, when they control Congress, when President Trump had a marquee campaign promise to defund sanctuary cities, why can't Republicans in Congress deliver for the president? You got any speculation on that?
I probably do, but I don't know if we should speculate. I know that the Senate did consider some immigration bills. Unfortunately, under Senate rules, you need 60 votes, and Democrats are able to obstruct the efforts in the Senate, and so it's really hard to get things through both the House and the Senate. And I know that you spoke to RJ, what was it, this week or last week, on the discharge petition. I would encourage people to go back and watch that, because that's an important issue as well.
Yeah, they only need a couple more signatures to have all the Democrats join this petition and then put it over the top, and we're going to get an amnesty through the House. We're obviously fighting on lots of fronts, but I want everyone to realize we are making an enormous amount of progress in 2017 and now in 2018. And this report, where do people go to get a copy of this report? Because stopping sanctuary cities, turning around the momentum, and if we can make it an issue in California, well, we can make it an issue anywhere. You go to our website, right?
Yes, fairus.org.
fairus.org. It's called The Explosive Growth of Sanctuary Cities in America. It has a lot of great charts, information, and lists every jurisdiction that has passed these laws or referendum or initiatives or policies, as well as the tools you can use to fight them in your own state and city. And if you know of a sanctuary ordinance being proposed in your local area, contact us, contact Shari, contact our field team, and we will work to try to stop it. And we've had a lot of success in a number of places around the country, and we can certainly help you in your community as well. So things are out of hand. I agree with you, Marvin. Never should have been allowed to. President Trump has been a huge opportunity to reverse the dialogue. Obviously, the radical left is pushing back very hard. The ACLU is funding campaigns to try to take out even sheriffs. Sheriffs who support state and local cooperation are being targeted by the ACLU in this election, right?
That was true in North Carolina. We just saw a couple of sheriffs.
They're trying to take a lot of credit for knocking off sheriffs, mostly Democratic sheriffs, but nevertheless, this administration is pushing hard to try to get sheriffs to work around these sanctuary laws and do what they call cooperative agreements. It's called 287G agreement, to cooperate with the federal government. But we can only do this if we can overcome the opposition, and believe me, they are well funded, they are well organized, and they came to stay. So only by working together and united in a united fashion, coordinating, are we going to turn the tide on this issue. So I want to thank you, Tricia. That's a great comment. No sanctuary cities. We could turn around. We could certainly save a lot of money on social costs. All of you, thanks for all your work. Thanks for your efforts. Shari, thanks for this great report. People are reading about it all across the country, and we want you to read it too. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dan.